Welcome back. Today we are in Paris and we'll be doing the ultimate food tour across the city. Oh my gosh. Hey everyone, we are Jordan and Soph, a young married couple who left Alaska behind to travel for a year around the world. And one of our favorite parts of that includes trying new foods. From guinea pigs in Peru to bamboo worms in Thailand, we are down to try all of the local favorites, which is no exception today for our third full day in Paris, as we try everything from crepes to cheese to escargot at the oldest cafe in Paris, as we travel around to try all of the city's best eats.
So delicious, I love it. Today we're going to be doing a cheese tasting, a wine tasting. We're gonna get crepes, we're gonna get macaroons. Honestly, we're just kind of doing everything today.
So 2 quick disclaimers. 1, our French is not good. We will try our best with the pronunciations. And 2, Paris is a very large city with a ton of amazing restaurants. So obviously we will not get to everything today. So drop down in the comments if you have a hidden gem that people must check out. We wish we could go to everything, but we can't. We've already spent a couple days in Paris and we have already tried so many amazing foods. It's kind of a cultural melting pot here, so we've already had some amazing falafels, amazing Indian food, amazing Greek food. We've also been living off of buttered baguettes, and we had the best crepe ever at Res Cafe, so definitely add that one to your list too. But today we are starting with a traditional French breakfast, so we are heading to a cafe to start the day. So to start the day, we are in the Saint Germain neighborhood where we picked out Cafe Louise. It's such a beautiful little Parisian cafe. And we're starting out with a traditional Parisian breakfast, which consists of freshly squeezed orange juice. I've already taken a sip and it is the freshest, best orange juice I've honestly had in my life. Next up, we have our little Americanos. Now, traditionally, you would have cafe au latte, which is coffee with milk. We don't like milk with our coffee though, so we went for plain. And then we, of course, have a little fruit salad to go with our buttery, flaky croissants. Look at how perfect these are. Oh my gosh. This looks amazing. Let's taste it. So perfectly flaky. You know it's a good one when it falls all over and makes a complete mess. It's super buttery. Look at all the layers. The absolute perfect way to start the day, in my opinion.
That's not really good. Very buttery, very flaky, very big fan. Look how fluffy that is.
You'll never be able to eat a Pillsbury croissant again. So we hopped on the metro and zipped over to the Arc de Triomphe area, the Champs-Elysees, because next we are going to a cafe called Cafe Marbouf. The metros are actually pretty nice here too. Some of the terminals are like decorated really cool. We just went past the station for the Louvre where they had like a fake Venus de Milo statue, and there were some other really pretty ones too. So the metro is a good way to kind of zip around the city between your stops. Like I said, we are kind of going to places spread all throughout the city today. We are almost to Cafe Marbouf.
We are now at a bistro where we have some crepes. Now, we couldn't do a French food tour and not get crepes. They were obviously invented in France way back in the 13th century. Today, they are on almost every street corner. So we, of course, got some. We also got some more orange juice and some more coffee. For our crepes, they can usually be like savory or sweet. So savory, you can have like cheese or mushroom, ham, eggs, you name it. We got some more sweet crepes, so I have like a strawberry jam, and then Sophia has Nutella on hers. So very breakfasty as it is still early in the morning here. Very delicious first bite. Honestly, crepes are a lot like pancakes. They are quite a bit thinner, a little more delicate, I would say. Now, pancakes are really fluffy, very heavy, but crepes themselves, quite a bit thinner, quite a bit lighter, and absolutely delicious.
So banana Nutella is the choice. I could definitely start each day eating this. So good.
The crepes and the drinks that we just got done having would have cost us nearly 30 euros. Fortunately, as we were planning our time here in Paris, we came across a thing called the City Go Pass. Usually I'm not a huge fan of passes just because they don't give you a ton of value and you have to do a bunch of random things. However, this one seemed like a very good value. It was 105 euros for 2 days, but we have already gotten about 70 euros worth of value out of it. Our Parisian breakfast was also covered by the pass. Later on today, we are going to be going to the cheese tasting and the wine tasting both under the pass. And then all day tomorrow, we're going to be using the same pass to get to go up into the Eiffel Tower, to go on a boat ride, maybe even a hot air balloon. So there is a lot covered under this pass and definitely worth taking a look at.
We are inside the lottery. This is like a dream come true for me right now. I'm so excited. I'll do the pistachio, the Marie Antoinette tea. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. So we just made it over here to the Tuler Garden after we stopped by Laundry, which is where macaroons were actually invented back in the 1890s by the owner's cousin Pierre when he took 2 almond meringues and sandwiched them together with a chocolate ganache in the middle. If you go to Laundry outside of France, those macaroons actually come from Switzerland. However, if you go to any of the France locations, the macarons are made right outside of Paris in a lab where they make 3,200 macarons every day. When I was young, Paris was always a dream place for me and I always wanted to come here and try the originals, and so that's exactly what we're doing today. So I'm super excited. We grabbed a coffee. How cute are these cups? They actually have a macaron treasure chest where they have 200 macarons, but it costs 700 euros. So not in the budget for this trip. No treasure chest for us. I'm so excited because in my little bag, they even put a little guide with all of the flavors. So they have classic flavors, which is up on top, and then they have seasonal flavors on the bottom. What we have here is raspberry, Marie Antoinette tea, which is black tea and citrus, pistachio, chocolate ganache in the middle like the original one was, coffee, passion fruit, caramel, and then another raspberry. I think I'm gonna start with the Marie Antoinette because that is very interesting to me. It looks like there's some tea leaves on the outside, but what macarons actually are, or at least these specific ones, is California almonds that they grind up themselves at their lab right outside of Paris, and then they mix it with some meringues, egg whites, we've got sugar, very delicate to create this outer shell. It can easily collapse. And then of course the middle ganache is different flavors depending on what kind of macaron they are creating. The tea taste comes through on this one. Also, when they're making these, they have a little period of time to rest so that the top gets like nice and chewy. I think it's up to about 24 hours. A very precise science to it, which is why it is 3 euros per one. There's locations all over Paris, but the original one is on Rue Royale, just minutes away from the Tuileries Garden. So grab yourself a little treat, have a little picnic. There's chairs everywhere. It's such a beautiful space and such a truly Parisian thing to do. So I know it's a little cliche, but we couldn't pass it up. It may be one of the hottest days of the year, but that has not stopped us from going to Angelinas Tea House, famous for their hot chocolate, opened in 1903, I believe. Show it, Jordan.
Here is the hot chocolate. When I saw them pour it, it literally just looked like melted chocolate. Not like the more milky hot chocolate we normally have in the US, but just like straight, thick chocolate.
Like chocolate sauce. There was a super big line to actually go and dine in Angelinas. However, we just went to the to-go line again, grabbed a hot chocolate. There was hardly a wait at all. And now we are on our way to lunch with our little basically dessert drink in hand. Give it a try, Jordan. How is it?
It's literally just like drinking melted chocolate. That's just what it is. It's not even like a drink. It's just melted chocolate.
It'd be so nice on a rainy day, like a chilly day, even on a hot day. Let's see. Oh wow. Wow.
Thick.
I think every hot chocolate is going to disappoint after this one. I'm not going to lie. This is delicious. This is also right next to the Tuler Garden. Again, there's a lot of locations, but stop at this on your way to the park too would be a great way to kind of spend the day.
You gotta get fries in France because that's truly a French fry then. Been waiting all day to make that, Joe? We have now made it to our lunch spot of the day. We are at AVU Chat. It is right here on the River Seine. We have a great view, like right in the heart of Paris. It honestly doesn't get much better than this.
We can see the Notre Dame, we can see the fortress that surrounds Saint Chapelle, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous chapel. So it's a really fun place to just sit and people watch. We aren't very hungry, but we had to get another French classic for lunch. So what it is called a croque monsieur, which is a cheese and ham sandwich that is hot. The cheese that is used is usually Gruyere. Give it a try here. Absolutely delicious, as you can imagine. Buttery, cheesy. We have the ham or hamon. We also have some champagne. So it's the perfect little lunch on the Seine. Next, we are heading to a wine tour of the whole winemaking process in addition to the wine that we're going to taste. We don't really know what to expect, and I assume it translates to something like the Cave of the Louvre because it's Le Cave de Louvre. But yeah, we are really excited to, one, learn more about the wine here, but two, to actually get to try it. That's where we're headed to next. The Le Cave de Louvre was a royal-owned wine cellar from the 18th century that today has tastings, guided tours, and workshops. We checked in with our passes and headed down several flights of stairs where we were handed a glass of Riesling from Alsace, which is in the northeastern region of France, bordering Switzerland and Germany. Next, we made our way down into the cellar led by our tour guide who taught us about the different regions where wine is grown across France.
Riesling, that's for this wine, it's going to be very crisp. I think very refreshing, tart. You can salivate a lot when you sip this wine. So it's perfect also for this kind of weather to have something not too heavy. A lot of aromas of lemon, citrus and so on in this wine. I really like it and think it's refreshing.
We also learned about how the different soil conditions can affect the grapes, how corks are made, and we even got to see some vintage wine labels. We tried to correctly identify some different herbs and different scents that they had set up to see if you are a true wine connoisseur, which we found out we are not at all. We both failed miserably and could not identify any of the scents, so big fail there on our part. Next, we tried a Merlot Cabernet Franc blend from the Bordeaux region, which is a wine hub in southwestern France. We ended the tour with a red blend from the Rhône region. All of the wines were very tasty and a great way to spend the afternoon learning about French staples and expanding our very limited knowledge of wine. At Au Chateau, we were greeted with 5 artisan French cheeses and a glass of wine of our choice. We started with Brie de Meaux, which is a soft cheese made from raw cow's milk, originating from the Seine-et-Marne region, which borders Paris to the east. This cheese pairs well with red wine and was crowned the king of cheeses at the Congress of Vienna in 1815. We were both fans of the creamy Brie cheese, which we've been snacking on for the past few days with our baguettes that we got from a bakery by our Airbnb. Next was Sauce-Cher, which is a soft goat cheese from the Loire et Cher region. This cheese is best with Sauvignon Blanc. However, I'm not gonna lie, I am not at all a fan of goat cheese, so I did not try it. However, Jordan is more of a fan. He tried it and had it all to himself.
Not bad.
Next was Comté, the most consumed artisanal cheese in France. It dates back to the 13th century and is a firm cheese from unpasteurized cow's milk. 2 thumbs up, we were both a fan of this one. Next, we had another firm cheese, this time Cantal, which originates from the Auvergne region. This is one of the oldest cheeses in France and is even mentioned in writings from the Roman times. This cheese was delicious, and we can see why it has been around for so long, because it's a keeper. We saved the worst for last. Blue cheese, but more specifically Forme d'Aubert, which is a semi-hard cheese from the Auvergne Alps region. It was used as currency in the Middle Ages as a way for farmers to pay their rent. Jordan did not think it was as bad as he originally thought it was going to be, but it was a big no from me. Good thing we had some delicious wine to wash it all down with.
A very good cheese tasting, if I do say so myself. My favorite was probably the Comté, so that's fun. You know, I usually just go to Brie just because I do know that one. But to kind of like learn a new cheese to kind of have a go-to of Comté, that's nice.
Next, we're gonna head across the Seine to go grab some dinner, where we're going to try some more hearty meals to kind of end out our day of our food tour here in France. We somehow managed to grab a table without a reservation at the oldest cafe in Paris, Café Pro Cup. Located in the Saint-Germain-des-Prés quarter in the 6th arrondissement, it opened in 1686 and was the first restaurant in Europe to serve coffee. This quickly became a favorite spot for many of the Enlightenment philosophers and writers, including Voltaire, and even Napoleon himself paid a visit. Today, this brasserie is known for its traditional food, including steaks and snails, which is what we were here for. It was strangely quiet with no music playing in the restaurant, so we did not feel very comfortable talking out loud and ruining other people's peaceful meals. Anyway, we started off with a piping hot French onion soup, which was amazing. It was savory and warm with a very generous serving of cheese, as if we hadn't already had enough cheese today. Next was the main event that we have been waiting to try all day, the snails, or escargot. Large label rouge burgundy snails, to be exact. First of all, they were very difficult to get out of their shells. Despite the fancy tools we were given that we really didn't know how to use, they were still really stuck in there. I was very scared to try and couldn't decide what I thought about them for the longest time, but I have to say they were slimy and very chewy. I think my face made them seem worse than they actually were though, but it definitely takes an acquired taste. Jordan was also scared to give it a try, but he is someone who is more open-minded and didn't think that they were altogether too bad.
I'm convinced you put enough butter and garlic on anything and it'll taste good.
Not that we were hungry at all, but to wash down the snails, we could not resist ending out our food tour day with the Pro Cup Café Liégeois, which is white coffee ice cream, panna cotta with coffee, topped with whipped cream, and it was every bit as good as it looks. We had such a great day in Paris and tried so much good food today. We are absolutely stuffed.
So like I said before, we are using the City Pass, which covered our Parisian breakfast, the crepes, our lunch by the sign, the wine tasting, and the cheese tasting, all for a value of like 250 euros. So we've already gotten enough value out of our City Pass. However, all day tomorrow, we're going to continue to use it. So make sure to check out our next video to see how much more value we get out of the City Pass.